Welcome back to the channel. In this video I just want to have a quick look at the latest footage that AYN have dropped for the Odin 2. So in this one they're doing Wii Emulation, using the Dolphin emulator. They're running 6 times settings here at the start. Later on you see they're using 4 or 5 times upscaling. It looks absolutely amazing, I have to say. And I just wanted to draw attention to the fact that up here on the top right you can see it's lock solid at 60 FPS. So a couple of games in certain parts of the game are running a little bit less than their full speed, but generally in-game appears to be running really well in this footage. It looks amazing as well. I mean, I've got a Wii U and I've got loads of carts, or CDs, sorry, that I just never got into playing. This would certainly get me into playing them. So as we can see here, the CPU has barely been touched. The GPU is doing about 75%, and temperatures are pretty good. The battery's at 35 degrees C, so that's relatively cool. You know, these things are usually warm the battery up quite a lot. The CPU and the GPU are sitting at the mid to upper 70s, which is quite warm, but this thing has got proper active cooling. So it seems to be coping really well. As you can see, there's a little dip there, it dropped out and just below, let's say 60 FPS there, and there it dipped below. Some of these cutscenes you'll see it dipping a few FPS below, but it's actually still really impressive. And I have to say, this looks like a finished unit. It doesn't look like a test unit. I mean, the build quality looks really good. All the way around it seems to be really quite nice looking. This thing could well come out in December like AYN have announced. And I really hope it does, because if it does, it's going to be the absolute smash hit of 2024. I have seen some people talking online about the fact that this Snapdragon chipset can run Windows and emulation quite well, and that you might actually play some Windows games as well, older titles, like Portal, things like that, but that would be just amazing, especially as this thing appears to be pulling hardly anything from the battery. Now you can't see it in this screen, but if I'm to skip forward a bit, let's skip forward to a different game. Is that still the same game? Yeah, hold on, let's skip forward a bit further. So here we go, we've got a Legend of Zelda game, and we can see here, this is a 30 FPS game. It's generally hovering around the 30 FPS, but it has the occasional, certainly these cutscene bits, when things happen, it'll dip right down. Now I don't know if that's because the emulator, or if it was just the game, because the GPU is still where it was. It doesn't ramp up and then struggle. So I find that quite interesting. Here in this game, the CPU is doing next to nothing. So that's this battery life, I guess, 84%. So I will bring your attention to the fact that there's nothing plugged in except for a headphone jack. So all this footage, and I mean there's 25 minutes worth of footage here, and presumably the actual filming of this took a lot longer than that. It looks like they've ran on battery the entire time, which is good to see. As we can see here, it was up here somewhere, I saw it a minute ago. Here you go. Less than 10 watts being drawn at this whole package, which is pretty decent. Let's skip forward to another game. So there's some outdoor scenes actually in this Zelda game. You will see the FPS will dip occasionally, but it doesn't appear to be like going down to the point where it becomes unplayable. It's just a small dip. We're only pulling under 7.5 watts now, which is even better. So here we go, another game here. Again, this one, so the battery power is only going down to 77 from that point. They were playing for quite a bit longer. 30 FPS locked game. This one's pulling closer to 12 watts from the battery, so that's quite a lot from the battery, but as you can see, it's mostly GPU that it's testing. It's going amber every now and then. Skipping a little further, as you can see here, this one's barely touching it as well. 75% battery. I mean, this battery life seems to be pretty impressive. Maybe they are charged up in between sessions, but I don't think they were. Here again, 9.5 watts roughly from the battery. And I did see some people have posted comments, I think that the screen appeared a little bit dim. But actually, I think what we're seeing here is, this is artificial light. So I think this may have been filmed in an early evening. And you can see there's quite a lot of glow coming off the sticks. So I think maybe it's just like poor low light level performance from their camera, and I've had that issue in my own videos in the past. If you turn the brightness up on your screen, it tends to make everything else dark. And if you turn your screen down to balance it out, then you get comments that your screen looks a bit dim. So I think this looks pretty good, pretty colourful. Let's skip forward, we've got a bit of Resident Evil here next. Now this is quite dark. Well, it appears to be running okay. Now it does dip, that's 26. It's running a little bit less than the 30 FPS, but it's not really doing much. Okay, we've cut forward to another game now. Again, this one's only pulling, what, 7-ish? Nearly 8 watts from the battery. I think that's pretty impressive. I have to say, I'm getting a little bit excited. I was the same with the Loki, I have to say. But what with the extremely tight deadline that AYN have said they're going to match, or are aiming for at least, I'm in a position where I might actually agree with them. This could be, I was once bitten, but I could fall for this. This could come at Christmas. This is what AYN need. They need a Smash that comes out just before Christmas. If they can get the production levels out, they can produce the model and not have the delays that they've had in the past, and they can get this out to reviewers, particularly, and get this out to all the early adopters, all the people that have put money down on the Kickstarters, and then be able to produce sufficient units to sell retail, then this thing could sell in bucket loads before the Christmas period's over. Skip forward a little bit. As you see. So that's down to 70% battery. I think they've played this whole session on one charge, and they've only used about 20%. And again, it's only on 6 watts at that point. Okay, they're not doing much right here, but see, just over 7, under 7.5. It's a 30 FPS game, but that looks pretty good. One of the Monster Hunter games by the looks of it. So if you like what I do, please like, share and subscribe. Channel's doing really well at the moment. I've got lots of other content landing in the next week that is original content, not me commenting on other people's videos. So stick around if you like. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.